Rawr.
When did we all get this dumb?
Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear warfare. I don't see any bodies, so it doesn't count.
I'm angry about cat.
I'm the chef. I want to hear one thing. Yes, chef.
Come on, man. Use your brain.
The Why I'm Angry podcast starts now.
Oh, it's another one. We're here. That's Why I'm Angry podcast here in the Freestyle Man Cave studio. This is the chef. And we got some other people. Nope, just me still. All right. Got Jboots and his niece is on. So, guys, you there?
I'm babysitting a 17-year-old, so.
Sounds about right for this generation.
Let's get him. Let's get him.
I take care of myself.
Seems like it. Being babysat, I mean.
At 17.
Go fight
Right.
my dad.
Well, just the shameless plug part. Make sure you're getting on our email, our website at whyimangry.com. It's in the lower one of the corners. I don't know because it seems a little messed up for me. Get our new merch. Get to our store. Free way to support us is to like and share us on your favorite podcasting site or on your social medias. If there is a social media that you don't see us on, send us a message. If we miss an article that you want us to comment on, send a message to whyimangrypodcast@gmail.com. Make a comment in our comments if you like. You can throw a link to an article. We are lively watching our comment sections right now. So if you shoot us a message, we will either comment or boot you because that seems like the only thing you can do. And, that's that. So, guys, what you got?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say hello to everyone. And I hope I get glorious comments about my beard.
Yeah. So,
Leela, do you have any quick comments to say before you have to go to your dinner?
dinner.
Do you want to get anything off your chest that you're angry about?
Kanye West is.
Remember, keep it PG.
I know.
Okay.
I'm working on a good word.
I don't want to have to hit the explicit button.
You were talking about Kanye.
Yeah. He's just
Kanye.
extremely attention seeking, and he holds way too many grudges, and he needs to grow up and get over an event that happened like 10 years ago.
Now, this wouldn't be pertaining to the Taylor Swift incident, would it be?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
100%.
Grabbing of her mic.
He just released a new album and is still name dropping. Why is her name in your song when she...
Because he's not relevant anymore.
He's out.
He's having issues with relevancy. That's why. 100%. Everybody's got to make a buck off somebody. Even the NFL is making a buck off of Taylor.
Yeah.
So get in line, get your buck.
Put on their stuff.
And
they have to use other people. They can't be independent.
That's right.
Like,
and get out. That is right. 100%. Kanye, get your buck and get out. We don't like you anymore. Let it go. Kanye. Let it go. You ain't welcome here anymore. We also don't own the rights to that song, so we can't play that either.
Yeah.
I am kicking you out.
You're getting booted. You're getting the boot.
It's okay. She has homework to do anyway.
All right. So Jboots on his own now. I don't know how he's going to manage. Just not
Right.
sure.
Or will the ground open up and swallow me
Swallow
whole?
us all. I'm voting for that. Let's meet Jesus today.
Today is a good day.
All right, let's get into something. So we were kind of talking in the off time here. There was a plane that was hired to fly over Harvard University campus. It was hired by some Jewish students, and the banner that followed that plane that was hired to fly over said, "Harvard hates Jews."
Yeah, what's that about?
Well, I mean, I think I know, but some students were confused. In
Yeah.
one of the articles that I read, it said students are confused and scared that someone would fly a plane that said Harvard hates Jews. It wasn't the Jewish students, it was the Palestinian students. Um, you know, it did also have a Palestinian flag um, in front of the message.
So who's more aggressive these days, Palestine or?
Well, I mean, they were in droves, just like chanting, from the river to the sea, um, to exterminate the Jews. These guys just have money, and they could actually, pay for someone to do something as
Oh,
opposed to having to go out themselves. So
someone
it
just
it
rented a
seems a
plane.
little more passive aggressive than what the Jewish students did, as opposed to what the Palestinian students did. Um, that just seemed more aggressive, as opposed to passive aggressive.
Right. Traditional aggressive. Yeah.
Traditional aggressive. Um, so yeah. I mean, I honestly with Harvard, I mean, we just passed around a little TikTok video about Harvard president coming in and saying that, I got a great idea. Let's put gold, yellow gold stars on all the Jewish people so they can be so proud of what. And I mean, I looked for the article, I couldn't find it. Hopefully it's a Babylon Bee or something like that article, and it's just just a video off of somebody that just took something and made satire. It was a TikTok video. It was only a real quick video, so
Right.
hopefully that's what it was. But I couldn't put it past Harvard president for going in and doing that, because she sat in front of the Congress and said, well, unless the Palestinian students were actually acting upon their right, their chanting, that's not hostile, that's not anti-Semitic. You mean unless they're actually committing genocide? I mean, so, but that isn't true, because anti-Semitic conversations and chants and things like that actually go against the First Amendment, and don't allow you to speak and say anything that you want, um, as long as you're peacefully protesting. Because
Right.
they can actually arrest you for anti-Semitic talk, just about
Yes.
any time they want.
Yep.
If they feel like you have gone too far, or you are rallying against the Jewish population.
Yeah. Or Mel
So,
Gibson.
which, I mean, I understand, 6 million of you get killed off, slaughtered within, a 4-year span. by a dictatorship, then maybe you've had enough down days that maybe you should get a little time off for a couple 100 years. You got anti-Semitic laws so that you don't get made fun of, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. But anytime you write a law, there's always going to be a group of people who want to purposely go out of their way to break it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's kind of what I was looking up. We use this 14th Amendment law to keep Trump off the ballots in Colorado and 74,000 other states that have now sued and taking it to they're taking it now to the Supreme Court. They're supposed to be ruling on that in the next few days here. And so I was looking up what other Civil War laws should we start bringing back. Should we use this to we could use this to take out the Ku Klux Klan, because they have a couple laws that don't allow you to suppress any other form of population. So we could definitely use that. Although if we used it against the Israelis or Israelites, depending on how you want to put it down, it could be anti-Semitic, and then you'd be fighting yourself. But at this point, I don't think the Democrats care about that, because most of the time they're just thinking up laws to get their point across, or investigating anyone that looks at them crossly. So I think this is just right up their alley. Let's just use this. I think it was in the 15th or 16th Amendment, about and so just let's do that too. But in that, I was just saying, this is this. So let's add this to it. They also told Jewish students during Hanukkah to hide their menorah after every service, or after every night of lighting their lighting services, so that they didn't get vandalized.
Well, that defeats the purpose of lighting the menorah. But
no, they still lit it. They just gotta hide the light under a bushel.
Oh.
I'm gonna let my light shine.
There you go.
The that song is old enough that we do not need the rights to that one. But
and I will now perform that for you. Just kidding.
On a recorder while playing the flutophone. So yeah, I mean, they haven't. I mean, they put out a memo stating how they were behind the Jewish population, because they were adding them to the list of celebration diversity days. They added Jewish population to the diversity celebration days, and so they added them. They gave them a day, and so they should be happy, and they can shut up now.
Are they diverse enough?
I mean, they all kind of seem to be like brown haired, balding in the back. They wear those beanies.
I don't think they're diverse.
They don't seem real diverse at all, but I did at one point work for a Black Canadian Jew, so
that's wild.
Yeah. I mean, it was the first one I had ever met, but I don't go out looking to meet Black Canadian Jews. I mean, it's not like I was searching them out. So maybe I've met other ones but this guy's self-identified. He just put it right out there.
Is that how he said it?
That was also what's that?
Is that how he introduced himself? Hi, I'm
pretty much, yeah. He's his video, like, it was I was working for a door-to-door business, selling crap. And yeah, basically his intro video that he gets on and he starts, doing his little like spiel, and he wanted to do it live every time. And so he'd come on and be like, "I'm blah blah blah. I'm probably the first black Canadian Jew that you've ever met." And I'm like, come to think of it, I've never really pushed the subject, and you know,
Here we are.
but maybe he is. Holy
Was it back,
crap.
was this back when you were selling those Ginsu knives?
Yeah, this was back when I was selling like Disney books and cackling witches and
Oh,
fiber
God.
optic lamps for your toilet. And yeah, like you said, the Ginsus, I actually sold Ginsu.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. The almost indestructible glass cutting boards. Don't
Yeah.
throw them on a girder. You'll have to explain how how they're almost indestructible, and if you do destruct them, it's tempered glass, so it's all in one shot. You pick it up and you throw it away.
No, that's
Sweep up
convenient.
the 5 or 6 little pieces of glass that fell out. Yeah,
Not too shabby.
I say if you can turn that around. I was offered a job on the spot as a salesperson for that car dealership. Should have taken it. Would have made a
Right.
ton more money than I was making door-to-door sales wise. But so getting back to Harvard, Harvard probably isn't kind to Jews. They may or may not hate Jews. They're probably funded by Jews, because they are a higher learning institution, on the higher end of things. And honestly, most of the time when you go back and look at the funding of your higher learning institutions, 90% of the time they're funded by Jews.
Yeah.
Now that statistic is not a scientific statistic, so it could be 87% or 70%. But in my mind, in my opinion, 90% of the time they're run by Jews.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's pretty normal to say.
I mean, I would think I'm not 100% off. So
Mhm.
yeah. So that being said, there is Israel struck Hezbollah, which if you look at I mean it, they've been fighting Hamas. So if you got Hezbollah and Hamas, mixed up, this is a whole different group. They're now fighting a second group, which is
Mhm.
actually a third group because they've been fighting the Houthis, which we should be fighting because they've been bombing our ships in the
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. And we haven't done jack crap about that.
Correct.
We've just kind of said we didn't need those ships anyways. Those were just commercial ships.
Those
Those
are
are just
commercial
our
frigates.
people.
Right.
We don't protect our people anyhow. We
You
we
come
just
on.
open the borders and you can just rummage and pillage all you want as long as you vote for us. So the Houthis are now voting Democrat.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's exciting.
right. I mean, I'm pretty sure we have a large Houthi population in the state of Jordan.
I thought they were our only ally.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Some days. Um, but no, they actually the Israelis are attacking back on Hezbollah, who's been shooting missiles into Israel. So I guess when a country or a terrorist group starts to attack you, then you normally use force of kind to attack them back.
Yeah.
Man, I miss those days. I really miss those days.
Yeah, it's just not the same world anymore.
Yeah, miss those days.
Uh,
So they actually, yeah, and this is one thing you don't want to really mess with Israel because Israel didn't just like fire any regular missile. They fired a Hellfire missile back at them.
yeah.
This was not a regular Hellfire missile though. This was a let me see if I can find what it was called. It was a I just had it. Oh man, it was a cool name. Killed Israel. Lebanese civilians. One militant killed in the strikes. So tension stoked. Gaza confined back then. Yeah, I don't see it here. Oh, it was called a Ginsu missile. See how it all comes back around? It was a Ginsu
Wow.
missile, a modified non-explosive Hellfire missile with 6 blades. It can slice, it can dice, it can even make julienne fries. Non-explosive 6 blades designed to limit civilian casualties to kill a militia leader in downtown Baghdad last week.
Did they get him at least?
I It doesn't say. It just says that they did use it to kill. So I would think they got him, but it doesn't say he was killed.
Oh, okay.
So they did kill like one and injured a few civilians. So Lebanon claims to have 100,000 Hezbollah fighters. So one less, 999,000. Or 99,999. Sorry, that didn't
Going
compute
down.
right. With the Ginsu missile. Oh man. So, I guess to get to a little more, I'm not sure if it's more serious or we're just going to take it a little more serious. Kansas City shooting. 21 we wounded. I thought I saw one dead. 15 of the 15 in life threatening injuries, with 2 in critical condition. 8 of those wounded were children.
Oh no.
Multiple gunmen from what I've seen so far. A million people in the crowd. I mean, here's the deal.
And there wasn't a strong police presence?
You would, yes, there was, but in this kind of situation, there isn't. You cannot I'm like, unless you get out the National Guard or the military, the U.S. military, bring some Marines or whatever out. You can't stop everything.
Right.
Something's gonna happen. Like there could be something that happened because this is a soft target. It's a moving target down a street. This was during the parade for the Kansas City Chiefs for their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so it's a really hard target to just like completely secure. One video I did see was actually funny, and I said, only in the Midwest are you going to see this. In Texas, they had a shooting over the weekend at Joel Osteen's church.
I saw that too,
He
yeah.
smiled and blessed the man, and then the Texas Rangers that were Texas police officers that were off duty in his congregation shot him, and he met Jesus. So in Texas, you bring a gun to church or to town or to whatever, and you're probably going to meet the other end of another gun, and that's that. In
I admire
Kansas City, in the Midwest, you're going to find the end of a tackle. And then someone else is going to tackle you because you got up from that tackle, because in Kansas City they tackle soft. No, I'm just joking. This guy actually did a great, like, tackled the guy, ran towards the bullets, left his wife and daughter, and ran towards the guys shooting, tackled the man. The man kind of got up, and then a second man came in and tackled him, like rolled, did a somersault roll. It was pretty cool video.
Yep.
And then the man who had lost him the first time piled on, and then like 4 or 5 other guys came in and subdued the guy until authorities got there. So I mean, that's what I said. Only in the Midwest you'll get tackled. You may not get shot and killed, but you're going to meet justice somehow.
And where was Kyle Rittenhouse during this whole thing?
He was crying about his Green Bay Packers. Sorry, man. Sorry. Aaron Rodgers about died this year.
Poor guy. I thought he was playing for the Jets.
4 plays in at the Jets. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's but that is the bottom line. I mean, this wasn't a handgun. No matter what you want to say, it's not a handgun, deal. This is literally the guy comes in with a giant rifle, shooting at people.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an AR, it was a long rifle.
Yeah.
So, this is why I say we should be allowed to own our own Hellfire missiles, because we should be able to be like Israel and react to people who attack us with overwhelming and indisputable force.
Sure.
I mean, I should be able to fight off my government if they come attacking me. I should be also able to fight off a lone gunman that, I also saw a dad joke today that said, man broke into my house looking for money. I decided to help him. See?
Yeah, grab that into that couch. We'll see what we can find.
Yeah, let's get in here and see. I've been looking for money too. So 3 people, they say, have been detained for this shooting. It's just one of those situations where you're like I said, you just can't, you can't protect it, and it's not getting any better out there. So not that I say, oh, we should all just hold guns, because there's a lot of the population who should not be carrying guns.
Correct.
I mean, I'm just going to say that right now, is that
That's pretty fair.
there are people without the mentality out there that should not be carrying guns.
Yeah. Mostly they're magnesium deficient.
Maybe. Maybe maybe they just they just don't have the mentality. Like, they're just like people who, if you can't walk and chew gum at the same time, maybe, making the final decision on whether you should fire a firearm into a person or not is not your thing. It's cool. It is what it is.
I mean, I can barely get to work, so like I don't, that's not something you should take lightly. Is ending a life for whatever reason. But
right, and that's really the bottom line of it, is there are people who should not. Sorry, I'm working on something. There are people out there that should not be carrying a gun, and I understand that.
If you're going to strap a gun to your hip or wherever you want to carry it, then you have to take full awareness that not only are you protecting yourself, but you're protecting every other person around you. And whether you know the person or you don't know the person, you wake up in the morning and you put that gun on your hip and you go out about your day, and those thoughts should weigh heavily on your mind. Like, should I, why am I doing it? Is this the right thing to do? It's an extra level of responsibility that I don't
Which
think
kind
most people know about.
Right. Definitely not. Which kind of brings me back to the argument we had with Lady D, and I actually talked to her about this the other day, after it happened. The case in Michigan that we argued about for probably a good hour. That and I was coming more on the fact of, in an everyday situation, it sets a bad precedent. But the mother of the shooter in Michigan, at the Michigan school shooter, they were indicted. They were brought up on charges of manslaughter. The guy's dad and mom, because they were neglectful.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, here's the deal. I said, the problem is that if we can charge them with full manslaughter or full murder or full, because at one point they were trying to say that, they would bring them up on charges of murder. And, not that I don't think that they are terrible parents. I don't think that there was an issue. There's a lot of stuff that came out during the trial, which I was let know about, from Lady D. And during that, yeah, she probably neglected this child, and then she neglected to do a good enough job taking care of his mental instabilities, and then the fact that she failed to secure a gun and ammunition at the home.
Yeah.
And it just seems like it, like she was super neglecting in this deal. But in that, there is a law for that. It's called neglect.
Yeah.
And so, shouldn't we be convicting her on the charges of neglect and not creating an even sadder situation by convicting her of manslaughter also?
That's one for the books.
They do say, they said they declined to give the jury forewoman's name. Said the jurors were influenced by evidence that Crumbly was the last adult to possess the gun. That really hammered it home for them. So, they saw images of her leaving a shooting range with a gun in a box. Obviously, if she's going to the shooting range, she's at least a responsible gun owner, and she's, somewhat training.
Yeah.
Or she just had to blow off steam or something. You don't know, I guess. She could be the most terrible range person in the world. She could, not police or brass and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, neglect is without without her saying go kill him, or him saying I'm gonna go kill them now. And it just comes down to the kind of deal where it's like she's not an accessory. She didn't she didn't hand him the gun and say, have a great day at school, buddy. And I mean, she knew he was having issues and that he was mentally unstable. In that case, she should have gotten him, the help he needed. And in that case, she is neglectful.
Right.
If she didn't lock it up, she's neglectful. And
yep. I mean, that part I do.
The manslaughter definition, the legal definition of manslaughter is the crime of killing a human being without malice, a forethought, or otherwise in circumstances not amounting to murder.
Right.
So, I mean, access to a gun is not is not the crime of killing a human being, because access to a gun doesn't mean that it's a step, and it's not a good one, unfortunately. Right. Like, I mean, maybe in this case it's going to be okay because she deserves 15 years in prison for neglecting her child. She's got a couple other ones. What are they now going to end up with? But, it's not like driving a car and you smashed into a car because you've been drinking and all of that. I mean, if you smash into a car drinking and kill someone, manslaughter.
Right.
That was the act of killing someone without malice or forethought. I got in a fight with somebody. I threw a stone into a crowd. I killed, whatever. That's manslaughter.
Right.
Maybe. You didn't go into that fight, wanting to kill someone, But in all of this, we're now talking about the intent of a person.
Right.
And in the end, and this is, again, utopian thinking, who gets to choose what your intent was? A jury of your peers now. 12 jury members. And now they've set this precedent that anyone who may have had a hand in causing a murder or a terrible, situation can now be brought on the floor for, if your person caused a murder, now you're in manslaughter. And who else can we charge for that? Can we charge the person who bought the bullets? If dad bought the bullets and mom left them out and a gun out, now do we charge him for buying the bullets? What if grandpa gave the gun as a gift, when she was 12 years old? Now do we charge grandpa for giving the gun to the person who's neglectful, so in this, like, the slope is fast approaching and very slippery, so I just, if you disagree with me, throw it in the comments, and we'll make another podcast with Lady D, get her back on here. She's been going through some family stuff or something, and just just been busy with her work and things like that, and just taking a few weeks break. So we're working on getting her back in here and that kind of thing. So, but obviously, if you think that I'm way off my base, shoot me a message. We'll discuss it. I can discuss it without being disagreeable or without you getting sad and angry and crying. So maybe, I don't know about you, but it's one of those deals where it's just like I 100% understand. I understand why. I understand that there was a ton of evidence against her. They say the dad is just as bad, and he's gonna go down too. Manslaughter is 15 years, but it's not just the 15 years, it's what you follow after that.
Right.
If you go, if I were in jail for 15 years, I come out at 55 and I have a manslaughter charge, where do I go work after that?
Right.
I mean,
Be hard
do
pressed.
I start my own podcast? Do I become inspirational speaker? Do I go work at Wendy's?
Well, that's
Which
always an
I've
option.
thought about, because Wendy's sounds like glorious business. Like, I just go work there. I don't have to talk to nobody. Nobody
Eat a
has to
bacon
talk to
burger.
me. I'll just run the grill and just get paid whatever, $13.50 an hour at least.
Yeah. I'll pay for some gas.
What more do you need? Some gas, maybe a apartment with a roommate, because that's what they do these days. It's just get a roommate, live with a bunch of people.
Why not?
Yeah, sounds awesome. So I knew that one was going to go over like a lead balloon. So let's get into something a little less taxing. And go to the Travis Kelce. Sorry, Travis Kelce is to executive produce My Dead Friend Zoe, which is a movie coming out.
What?
Yeah, supposed to be coming out in 2024 here, maybe 2025, depending on how quickly they get things done. But this is one of the first movies that it will be financed partially by using the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act tax credits.
All right. Now I
I
did
was
forget
like,
to say for that.
I know. We need to get into I need to look that up, see what I can get. I know that there's some kind of movie credits though. Like, actually, if you're bringing in and you have so many employees and you're paying them so much and stuff like that, you can get a tax credit for it
Well, I like that
because
option.
you're starting a business basically.
Right.
But so I read the article, or I started to read the article, because I wanted to see like, how is Travis Kelce getting tax credits? 2022 Inflation Reduction Act tax credits, and it's the headline acts like it's like Travis Kelce's movie, and he's the executive producer on it, and really he's just the executive producer because um he's part of the money. He's basically funding the venture.
Yeah.
And there's three other funders of the venture, not adventure. And the one who's getting them the tax credit is actually Field. Mike
Green
Fields.
energy.
Yeah, green energy entrepreneur Mike Field. He sold a surplus of tax credits. And so he's funding the film with that surplus of tax credits. So less than $10 million, but low budget film. Obviously, it's a dark humor.
It does seem
I
that
guess
way.
I guess Kelsey's in it himself. So
Yeah, I'm sure he made a cameo of some sort.
yeah. But yeah, they so they The three, Kelsey, Malo, and Field are the executive producers because they're financing this film. They're also financing a second film called The King Pleasure. Yeah. So low budget films. The thing that really is really the problem is that Mike Fields, he creates companies. He's a green energy entrepreneur. And so he creates a company, or at least a company shell, a design of a company, and then that company either operates or the design of the company operates at a surplus of green energy tax credits. And so because he can't use all of the tax credits in that year, he sells them to other companies that can't follow green energy standards. So basically, for you to get to net zero green energy, for you to get to net zero carbon neutral, you have to be a company that somehow either produces an anti-carbon product, like just doesn't use carbon, like all you do is plant 4 billion trees every year. And then you could be a net zero. Yeah, as long as you're planting those trees with shovels and non-hired labor, and you don't raise cows, you could be a carbon zero net zero company, and you would have extra carbon tax credits to sell. And so you could sell it to a coal company. And so that they could, like, if I ran a coal company, I could buy everyone else's carbon credits, tax credits, and I could be a net zero carbon company.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to, if I had the cash, and you know me being a super sarcastic, overbearing white American, I would definitely do that kind of thing. I would just be like, I would call it net zero carbon. I would sell internet also, because that sounds like I should be selling internet, calling it net zero.
Yeah. Wasn't Net 10 a phone company?
Net zero was a low grade dial up internet browser at one time. It was dial up. Net zero. And then when they went away from they had their own browser and stuff, and you had to use their browser.
I thought they were called Net 10.
That was after Net Zero.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Net 10 was a phone company, I think. Now I'm looking up Net Zero. There's a Net Zero coalition. Net zero emissions. Net zero web browser. Yeah, broadband internet. Oh, now they're broadband. They're still alive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can get mobile broadband, DSL, or dial-up. You can still buy dial-up. For those of you in northern Wisconsin that just got phones, you can buy dial-up internet at Net Zero. Get yourself some Net Zero. Dude. Man, I miss that. Not so much.
He said jokingly.
So that's right. I miss it jokingly. Jokingly, I miss that. But yeah, that's the real issue here, is that it's that you literally you don't really have to work to be a net zero company. You just buy it off. If you got enough money, you can do it.
That gets into the whole, is my company even really a company? is like existential company. Like,
well,
it's more
I
of
mean,
a
if you're going for, complete, if you're doing this to become net zero, carbon neutral, then your company is not what it says it is,
right.
by any by any stretch of the imagination. So, did you see Harvey Weinstein?
No, but I love that guy. One of my idols.
Said no one ever.
One of my heroes. Just kidding, internet users.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I like the videos. Like, he's just getting ready to get sorry, just saying. He was just getting ready to get his sentencing come down. He was convicted. And so they were bringing up his sentencing, and all of a sudden, all the videos from Obama's presidency, where like or some speaking and engagements and stuff, where Michelle Obama's out there going, Harvey Weinstein, he's salt of the earth people. He's great. We love him.
Yeah, I
And it's
remember.
like, well, yeah, because he gave you millions and millions of dollars to, you know, but the second that like the tables turned on him, 2017, they were out there going, Harvey Weinstein is disgusting. He's dead. We're disgusted with him. I can't believe he would blah blah blah. Yeah, well, his money's gone. His money's not there. You're not running for office anymore. Who cares? Just run whoever you want into the dirt.
Yep.
Well, he got 23 years.
Is that it?
So, which I don't see him
No,
like
he'll do
not
5
getting
years.
more years or even lasting through those 23 years, but whatever.
No, he'll do 5 years and he'll be out.
That's probably true too. So, in other entertainment news, Pedro Pascal is tapped for starring in Marvel's Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of looks like a Mexican. He's going to be the Doctor.
Dr. Reed Richards, yep.
I don't think I can ever get behind the Dr. Reed Richards that's not the one from the original Fantastic Four movies in the 90s. Or I guess that might not be the original. I don't even know. But the one I saw in the 90s.
The one from Fox?
Yeah, the one from Fox. It was great. It was my favorite.
Oh.
with the Human Torch and the bald guy as... What's that?
He was denied a bank loan, I think.
He was denied a bank loan. That's true. And
no, they did. The first Fantastic was 2004, I believe, or 2003. With the one with Chris Evans, who played the Torch, who also then played Captain America. Yeah, that was a good one.
I know that most people aren't excited about that one, but whatever.
I just hope it's not another origin story.
Is it? Is it going to be? Is it going to be like a reboot of the last one?
I hope it's not, because every time they do it, it's always an origin story of like how they came to be. And I'm like, well, if you've been paying attention for the last years, the real fans don't want more origin stories.
Did they put one out in 2015?
Yeah, it was crap.
Like they're just gonna forget that one. I mean, I never saw it.
So they lumped that one into the multiverse, but it's now listed as another auxiliary timeline.
So it's not true canon.
It's not Earth 616, which is the Earth 616 is set in like Tony Stark, Captain America.
So they're basically doing this like whole Loki thing with like the ones that they don't like. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, that makes it, I guess that gives you a reason like, oh, well, these movies that were terrible crap, they're still part of it. We still love them.
Yeah, because now that we've done Doctor Strange and he's opened up the multiverse and
because then you can be like the Hulk, the terrible Hulk that looks like Jose Canseco.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can go anywhere and tell any story you want because now you're in the multiverse.
Multiverse. So, I like it. Let's just like kind of like carbon credits or the whose line is it anyway where the points don't matter.
Correct.
Ding.
But yeah,
I don't know why I ding. I have a ding thing.
I'm gonna watch all the movies. I'm gonna keep my opinion to myself. I'm gonna formulate it and move on with my life because I used to try to tell.
Think we should do a podcast where you give your opinion.
Well, I do that a little bit on here, but
yeah, no, I'm saying we should do a special where we give our opinion.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Where we actually give our opinion, not like this where it's all cleaned up and pretty. No, we could do like an actual entertainment one where we talk about. We could do a special. We'll do a special. You'll have to pay for that special. Which brings me to, if you get on our Why I'm Angry podcast page and you feel inclined right now, you can get on and you can give us a couple bucks a month. It's like, I don't know, like $1.50 a month right now. 75% off. And you can you get everything. You get a ad-free experience. And then we send you out a thingamajob every month that gives you kind of what we're talking about, what we've been talking about type thing. And it's $1.50 a month. That's it. You waste more on other things every month. And for $2.50, you can actually see our news page any day you want.
And I paid $5 for a cup of coffee today.
Right. I did not, but I did spend $5 to wash my car, and it still be muddy.
Yeah, that actually fits in.
Yeah. So, I got stuck over the weekend in someone's yard. Fortuitously, it was a person who owned a tow truck company. Because when I do something, I do it the right way. When I did that, so if you give us if you give us the New Year Patriot code on our website, you will get you'll get 75% discount on all subscriptions, and that's a lifelong subscription. That is, you don't get it for a month, you don't get it for a week, you get that for life. So if you want to support us, this is probably the cheapest way to do it. 75% off of $5 is $1.50, and 75% off of $10 is $2.50. So we're not asking for a ton, just a little support, and all of your support right now doesn't go into our pockets at all. We literally right now are using all of the support we get to get the message back out, to work on microphones, work on different podcasting techniques, the backgrounds behind us. I mean, we kind of need to work on Jboots with the whole, Squishamello and that, but all of that is goes into keeping things on, keeping things going, keeping us going, and sometimes it even goes to keeping us motivated to doing the podcast. So just $1.50 or $2.50 a month, and you get to see some value to it. It'll be more value in years to come, and as we know, we're not worth a ton right now. We will be worth a ton once you support us and take us on, and we'll be worth a lot more than $2.50 eventually. So, shameless plug in the middle of our podcast, but it needed to happen. I guess
For
it's
sure.
maybe not the middle since it's almost 9:00, about an hour in, but whatever. It needed to happen. And so, Jboots, this is the time where we pour one out for the homies.
Oh, we're doing that? Okay.
Yep. Raise your glass. Take a big sip. William Post, credited with playing a role in the development of the iconic Pop-Tart, died.
Hear, hear.
We joked that it was a Russian missile attack that took him out because only the Russians would hate Pop-Tarts. Maybe the Chinese.
Mostly the
Their
Chinese.
communist ways do not love pastry, flaky pastry with a sometimes fruity substance style filling with a kind of hard frosted shell.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't understand why.
They're more of cream of wheat style people.
See, that's where you go wrong.
So, 96 years old, William Post.
Well, he lived a good life.
Yeah, I'm sure he did okay for himself. He probably made less than a penny per Pop-Tart ever made. And in that, probably retired with $13.45 in his pocket.
So he's got more money than me then.
Right. He's got about $8 more than I have in my pocket right now. So,
Right. How broke?
Man, I actually don't have anything in my pocket. I have a 2-year-old starting tomorrow.
Woo! Happy birthday!
So, right, we're gonna go get donuts,
Heck
which
yeah!
she is super stoked about, and I should not have told her about today.
I bet she is stoked.
Yeah, she knows what a donut is, and yeah, she.
You going
I
to the
told
one
her.
place or the other place?
We're gonna try out a new guy, maybe.
Yeah.
Stan the Donut Man.
Got you.
It's not new, but a new for us. So just about 10 miles away from us. So instead of driving an hour for donuts, because I'm one of those people. So
ain't nothing wrong with that.
We've gone to Jim's a couple times in Vandalia, Ohio. Jim's gets a shout out. Maybe someday they'll hear this and give us a free donut. Yeah. But and she likes Jim's, but it's time to broaden her horizons.
Absolutely.
Get her into a donut that fits her stature a little bit better. So, kind of, yeah. So that's that. Yeah. On to scientists have developed meat rice, where grains of rice act as scaffolding for cultured meat, which you're selling me on it now.
Man, I saw
a high protein dish can be prepared like traditional rice. May find some use in food insecure communities, military deployments, and in the Super Soldier program. Maybe on the Morpheus's ship, where they eat cream of wheat style substance. I mean, we're getting real close to that.
Yeah.
where we're just going to blurp it out, and maybe we put some artificial flavoring in it for now. But eventually that artificial flavoring will probably cause cancer. And to keep us from getting cancer in California, we'll have to do away with that. And so we'll just get this meat blurp.
Yeah.
Meat rice. I mean, it kind of looks like actually like it almost looks more meat than that digital meat that they've been like printing and stuff. That like that 8-bit Wagyu steak that they printed a couple months ago. This actually looks kind of like hamburger.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm 100% sold on any of this.
No, I am not even like 14% sold on any of this. That probably it's just no.
Would you say you're at least maybe a strong 9%?
It's pretty much for me right now. It's a nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I buy at least a half a cow a year, and we've just upped it to 3/4 of a cow. Probably if we didn't have parents that wanted some of the cow, we would probably buy a whole cow ourselves. So,
there's nothing like a good old fashioned cow, man.
And the cows, like the guys that grow our cows, they grow an Angus cow. It's not black Angus, but it is an Angus cow. It's a better cow than some. And the flavor of the cow, like they actually, because they grain feed at the end and they fatten them up a good bit, and they, it does get some grazing time. It's kind of the best of both worlds between grass fed and grain fed, which, if anybody says I'm going to give you 100% grass fed beef, you laugh in that man's face and you walk away, because that cow is probably terrible. He has like no fat, no flavor, no, he hasn't had any juicy sugar or anything like that. And that cow has been a vegetarian all his life without any like sweets. And so there is no fat to that cow. And what if you didn't ever know because of cooking? Fat is flavor.
Yes.
Yes. That's why I'm so flavorful. Sorry if you were watching on any of our interwebs, but so yeah, I'm a pretty big nope right now. I'm not sure that I can imagine a time that I would be a non-nope. But you never say never.
Unless you're saying the phrase "never say never."
Then you say it twice. Is that a double negative?
I don't know how that pans out.
So maybe say never?
How do you do that with Common Core math?
So do you sometimes say never? Should we write this down on a piece of paper? In other research that probably was like, duh, we figured this out years ago, long-term effects of smoking on immune system persist up to 15 years after quitting. Study finds heightened inflammatory response, dampened cellular response in ex-smokers. Like, we had to like put millions of dollars into research on this. I mean, this is something that we like thought we could cure cancer, or we could do long-term effects of smoking on your immune system.
So what's funny about that is that there was an article that had come out during the vid that said smokers were less likely to get COVID because
their lungs don't their lungs cannot accept anything but smoke. they've
not just smoke, but like, the black tar smoke.
Right. Well, they've cured their lungs like bacon. It just doesn't get botulism or anything anymore.
Right.
It's like salt pork or something. You've cured your lungs. Great job.
Great job.
Great job. I can't believe we looked up net zero tonight. Oh, man.
I can't believe I Googled net 10.
Did you? What are they? Is that still a phone company?
Yeah, they're ending their service in November of this year, and they are absorbed by TracFone now.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
What doesn't make sense is why TracFone is still around.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so into odd and unfortunate news. There was a Danish man who sticks 68 matches up his nose for the world record.
Now, were they lit or just unlit?
These were unlit, unfortunately, because at least a man with a nose on fire would at least be something exciting to look at.
Exactly. Now we're getting it.
Otherwise, you just got a man with matches up his nose, which his parents, I'm sure, always told him not to do.
Yeah.
I
am proud of him, but not as proud as I could be.
He crushed the world record that was set before him of 45 matchsticks. Like, I wonder if this guy trained. Did he like do stretches, like nose stretches? He's like sitting here going, hoo, 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 you know, pulling on his nostrils.
Yeah, like how do you condition for that?
You got like a nostril forceps thing that's, you know, you're just sitting there stretching your nostrils out like. Yeah, I think Jboots, you got like a 35 matchstick nostrils. Maybe you could gauge it out.
Trying
68 matchsticks though is a lot, and that's 23 over the record of 45. I wonder though, is that 23 over the record of 45 because no one really even realized that this was a record, or is it because, you know, they've really been fighting that, you know, this guy just had a great day.
So Guinness has been
saying,
like,
I just had a great day of nose stretches and thought, world record day. This is it. This is it, guys. I trained for years on this. 39, I'm not getting any younger. My skin's not going to get any more elasticy. Do this.
Yeah.
He said, surprisingly, it didn't really hurt. He has fairly large nostrils and quite stretchy skin. I'm sure that helped a lot.
I'm sure.
But yeah, that's probably what gave you all of the help.
Man.
Yeah, he says he doesn't think he can currently beat his own record, but he doesn't rule out trying it again in the future. Maybe if he has like a 2-year-old and like pulls on his nose a bunch, maybe he would think, oh, maybe I'm more stretched out. I can do this.
Now is the time.
Yeah, he said, for me, an increase in capacity would require some training. Or perhaps my nose will grow as I get older. So he didn't even train.
Well, one can hope.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Is that why it says he managed to stuff? Like he didn't even train for it, he just somehow accidentally did it?
He got in there and did it, man. He's like, I'm doing this, man.
He just like fell on a box of matches and was like, oh, there's 33 already in there.
What's another 24 more?
It only got him to 57, Jay. Sorry. At this point, my wife would have been like, get a math degree or something. Do something with your math. I'm like, that's only a common addition. So, yeah, I just... Yeah, interesting. I feel like that's definitely an Honest Abe article that he would have brought to us. You know, I try to keep one of those at least an episode so that you know his memory lives on. Not that he's gone or anything, just that he's not on the show right now. So,
yeah.
There's a New Hampshire state lawmaker maker's bill seeks an official pronunciation of Concord. So it's whether it's Concord, which is the English, like the Queen's English version, or Concord, right, which is the northeastern version of Concord. I prefer Concord because it sounds like they've been conquered.
Right. I mean, I
grew up as liberal as they are, I feel like they have been conquered.
Yeah. I mean, eating the grape jelly and everything makes me think Concord, because that's just how the commercials did it.
Right.
But actually, now that I think about it, I've lived my life mostly just based on what the commercials have taught me.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That is very true.
Right. So, I mean, I read it in a book every once in a while.
You read it in a book? Very nice. Very nice. I see what you did there. Oh. So, a 34-year-old wombat, and at the Japanese zoo is considered the oldest ever wombat. Like, did they take like? No, I don't. There wasn't a Guinness record, but it is the recorded in like the species records, like the how long can a wombat live? Well, it can live at least 34 years because one in Japanese zoo lived to 34 years in captivity. But it like, did they go out? Like, how do you like cut the wombat in half and count the rings or what? You know, like, how do you know how old the wombat is?
Yeah. Have you been pacing it on a scale of
like was this wombat born in captivity and then like lived that long? Or do you go out in the wild and check on wombats and be like, hey, you lived not as long?
Yeah, like what kind of diet did this wombat have?
Could you replicate that in the wild?
Was he fed like the premium like bugs or
does he see just premium praying mantises or something? So the holy bug.
Is there a better bug to eat?
Bring me the holy bugs.
I'm assuming wombats eat bugs, but I don't know.
Man, I thought you knew. Now I have to Google, what does wombats eat? What do wombats eat? Sorry. They eat snowgrass.
Oh, okay.
They eat baby wallaby and kangaroos. No, wallaby grass and kangaroo grass.
What the heck is snowgrass?
They also eat sedges and roots of shrubs and trees.
Oh, they got that good diet.
They cut their food with sharp, chisel-like front teeth, kind of like beaver teeth. Wombats. More than 35 cows were freed on the highway when a cattle truck crashed in South Carolina.
Free hamburgers.
Free roaming hamburgers. These cows were like alive. Like the truck caught on fire and they released more than 35 wandering cows. The road was closed for 10 hours tracking down these cats. Like, there's like one thing you don't want to hit on the highway, and it's a cow.
Yeah, they're beefy.
Like cows. I saw a guy hit a moose once. Mooses are not something you want to hit on the highway. I mean, it's like, yeah,
it's bad.
it's not. Yeah, it's not a happy day for you or your vehicle. But so yeah, 35 cows, free cows.
More cows.
If you find a cow, can you get salvage rights on that cow? So I was on Reddit, which is always a terrible decision in my life, because the actual subject on Reddit is never exciting. But if you go to the comments are where you're like, woo. And so I went to the comments, and this guy said this big log pile washed up on his beach, and didn't say where. It was just like he had a property that had a beachfront and on this river basically, and washed up on his beach. And everybody was like, "Oh, good job, way!" And then there's all these wet blankets. They're like, "You're stealing. This is theft." Blah blah blah. So that's what I'm saying here. And they posed a thing that I guess if you are a logging salvager, like I guess these big logging companies lose logs all the time, and salvage people go out there and they grab the logs that are in the way, and they provide a service, but they're also sometimes, less scrupulous salvage people that just will grab a, misinterpreted log pile and turn it into theirs and then sell it for thousands of dollars. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. But so, can I get salvage rights on this wandering cow? This cow's now wandering. Does it have, is this like open range?
Right.
My Google is going crazy tonight. So I'm looking up salvage rights on cows. Because at one point there was that kind of, I found an application of repurposing and salvage value on cattle operations. I guess that's if cattle operation is going down. I guess since it's not open range anymore, you don't really have this system. But at one point, I think that there was some sort of like, you could be hung for cattle rustling type thing.
Yeah.
If you were stealing cows, but I think they, with this kind of situation happening, there should be a salvage on cows. You should be able to go out there and grab them cows and salvage them up. Get some cows. Get you some cow. So
absolutely.
So on that, that's funny and exciting cow salvaging. What did you learn, Jboots?
Well, I learned it's never too soon to open up a hamburger shop, and I also learned that you don't want to mess with Harvey Weinstein. He's a tough nut to crack, And balloons don't travel well if they're made of lead.
Right. Maybe. I mean, I've seen science fair projects before.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hindenburg comes to mind, but you know.
Yeah. How'd that do?
It was a blaze of glory. Just like that beard you have. The glorious beard. So.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, remember, follow, like, and share us. Get on there. Get some of that merch. Some of that stuff is pretty cool. Some of it's not for you, so don't get that part. But get the ones that are for you, and get on there. Support us. Free support comes in the way of liking and sharing. If you're on Facebook and you want to share it out for us, get out there and send out your shares. Send it out to all of your people. Help us out. Get us out there in front of your like-minded friends. Send it out to your non-like-minded friends. I actually got in trouble with one of my friends that I thought was like-minded this week. This is a funny story. This is a segue in my group here, in my final rotation here. Somebody said something about the Black national anthem coming up. And they just made a comment that, why don't we put on the Spanish or the Polish or the German? You can see how this is going. And I said, yeah, because those national anthems are actually countries. They never formed a black country, a country that was called black. And so there's really not a national anthem for that. And he goes, come on, man. You're saying that there's no national anthem for African countries? I said, no, Africa. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Africa is a continent. And all of those countries include many forms of people, many kinds of different people. And in that, they have a national anthem. Mm-hmm. Black is a subgroup of society. It is not a nationality. It is a color of people who embrace many cultures, but is not a country of people. So if you want to play your Ghanan national anthem, fine, no big deal. Play it. If you want to play your whatever other country's national anthem, go for it.
Yeah.
But having a black national anthem is just divisive and racist.
Yep. All it does is create division.
Because separate but equal was considered racist back in the 50s.
Yep.
But none of you were alive back then. So, and you don't read about it in your textbooks because they've canceled that culture. And so you don't know that you're a bunch of living bags of racism. Follow, like, and share us on the Facebook page, and send us out to all of your friends. And, that's why I'm angry. Remember to follow, like, and share the Why I'm Angry podcast across all social media platforms and anywhere you get your podcast. The Why I'm Angry podcast ends now.